Welcome to Venusian Soul Tarot. Today I'm back with a timeless pick a card reading, and it's going to be message from your higher self. So I want you to cast your gaze over the cards and ask your higher self which card has a message for you. We have group number 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. If you need to pause the video to meditate further, please do so. But for those of you who are ready, let's get started. Hi, group 1. So I feel for this group, I keep hearing protecting your peace, and it's as though you're clearing away toxic energies or people that can't have access. I'm hearing to your blessings, but also your, how would I say, your spiritual attainment, the fruits of your spiritual path. I feel for this group, you've gone through a lot of spiritual growth, many ascensions, transformation. And it's almost like now those effects are starting to spill over into the physical world. So for some of you, I feel like you're coming into more abundance, more success, more recognition. And for some of you, it could literally be a leadership position, because I keep reading with master. I'm getting that sense of, becoming the teacher or becoming the master at something and helping others with that process. So for some of you, you may literally be stepping into a leadership position. But it's almost like there's energies here that I keep hearing Spirit saying that can't come with you. With the Five of Wands and the Devil, I'm hearing like letting go of the past completely, cutting ties, or not taking on other people's stuff. This could be stuff from childhood. These could be energies of toxic people that are still around you, or karmic energies that you're wrapping up that final cycle or chapter, because these energies don't serve you. I'm also getting a lot of stillness with both these cards. So I feel within yourself, you're extraordinarily centered and you're very in touch with your soul, your essence, and what you need to do. But it's almost like certain people may, again, others cannot fully throw us off path, but their words or their frequency may not be conducive to the energy that we, or the vibration we need to be in to move ahead. So I feel like there's this energy of purification with this Smokey quartz, where you're cleansing your environment, you're cleansing your mind, you're cleansing your energy field of potentially everything, so that you can step up or level up onto this new path. For some of you, this involves, again, a leadership position, an entrepreneurial, endeavor or business or project. And it's almost like Spirit and your higher self is helping you to prepare to clean the slate, so you're prepared for this next chapter. You're prepared for the next steps. I keep hearing not everyone can go with you, but there could be some people that are trying to tug onto your energy, or just energetically, they're still in your energy field. Because with Page of Swords, 5 of Swords, and 7 of Wands, the Page of Swords and 7 of Wands for me are representing, having very strong boundaries, setting your limits, being very clear in terms of who you allow into your space, who you want around you. And with this 5 of Swords as well, again, I don't feel like another person, we always have the power in terms of our consciousness, our state of being. However, certain people can shift our energy or try to influence our energy toward the 5 of Swords, right? Which would be failure. So this could be like naysayer energy, or those who try to plant seeds of this venture won't work out, or maybe you're not ready, like fear-based thoughts. And this doesn't even have to represent people, right? This can be an aspect of self as well, your own thought processes. This could also be like media, you're reading, consuming. I just see you being very, very, not cautious from a fear-based perspective, but very conscious of what you allow and who you allow with you. And I feel for many of you, moving into this next cycle and chapter, you may, travel light. When I look at this person, it makes me think of someone who's almost nomadic, right? Where they kind of move around, they travel, they do their spiritual work, or they engage in their business, but they keep it nice and simple. There is these themes of clearing the baggage, the debris, the energies that aren't in alignment with where you're going now. So you may be noticing as well, this process may be happening. And again, for some of you, this could be literal. You may literally be getting rid of stuff, clearing out your wardrobe, really focusing on quality over quantity. You may be, for example, for some of you, ending connections that don't feel aligned anymore or aren't healthy for you. But for others of you, I feel this is an internal process as well, where you're shedding or releasing certain beliefs and thought patterns and energies that aren't conducive to your personal growth. For many of you, I feel like I'm getting this really strong energy of destiny. You're stepping into your destiny. You're stepping into your purpose. There is a theme of travel here as well. So you could be traveling light because you're literally relocating, or there's a potential for some of you to travel. But I just keep feeling it's like a brand new life, right? I feel like you've undergone so many cycles of growth and transformation, and you have changed quite readily. But it's like the physical world has finally caught up with your spiritual essence, your soul, your energy field. And now it's starting to spill over into the physical, and your higher self is preparing you and also letting you know what doesn't need to come with you, so that you can your energy field isn't tied down, right? There's nothing tethering you, energetically speaking, karmically speaking. We have well of dreams, creation, visions, messages, dissolve the veil, bliss dreams. Yeah, I feel like for many of you, your dreams are coming true, or you're in the process of building them or acting upon them. With the turtle as well, it makes me think this could have been a long time coming, or for some of you, you have worked away at something for quite some time, and now is the time where the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. Things are starting to happen. You're also receiving a lot of downloads and prophetic dreams and visions from spirit. There's a lot of insights I feel coming through. You may just notice when you're drifting off to sleep that your mind, I don't want to say it's busy, but you may just have a lot of downloads and insights. You may be needing a lot of time as well to hear spirit. So time in meditation or contemplation, away from, whether this be away from others or just kind of to tune out the noise of the world so that you can really focus. I get a really Zen energy from this group. So for some of you, you may be really into mindfulness or Buddhist practices, but I'm just getting this really centered, still energy. And it's like you need to be in that. It's like someone preparing, right? I'm seeing someone doing, say, like archery, where they're aiming, and it's like they need that silence before they release the arrow. That's what I'm seeing, to hit the target. There's something here about aligning your energy and fostering that stillness with your core, with your soul, with your truth before you hit target or before you reach that target. And there's this purification process and transformative energy here that's helping you to align or attain that goal. Because you have 5 of Wands here, 5 of Swords, and then you also have another 5. So 5, 5, 5, definite changes. Horses could be significant as well as a spirit animal. We have inner compass, support, trust your guidance. Yeah, I'm hearing trust yourself and don't listen to the voices of others, at least not right now, because I feel for this group, you have your eye on the prize, you know what you're doing or what you're aiming for is spot on. And spirit is really helping you prepare. Again, if you need extra time out, take it, because I keep getting this energy of, needing time for relaxation, to restore your energy, to focus, to cleanse, to clear. And it may also be that in your life, things appear to be moving slowly, at least right now, or in the beginning stages, and then it's going to amp up and speed up. It's almost like the calm before the storm, but it's not a storm coming. I feel like you're about to level up in ways you've hoped for. I feel like a lot of you, this is a dream or vision you've had for yourself, but it's like now is divine timing. Now is the perfect time to level up or to reach a level of success or to become that teacher, that guide for others, start that business. There's something very clear that spirit is setting you up to create and do in the physical world that's tangible. You have relaxation. So again, and you had Hangman before. So there is this energy of stillness and it's almost like you need to reserve your energy for what's coming up here, right? So spirit is trying to get you to, align yourself, flow, maybe have more time out. Because again, this person is in solitude. They're reading, they're meditating, they're just being in nature. That might be really cathartic for you right now. But there's something about preparing yourself and letting go of worries, fears, it could be connections or past connections that don't serve you. I just see all of it being let go of and stripped away. Purity. I feel for this group, your energy is very pure, but I feel like your intentions are very pure. For many of you, I feel like there's something you want to do or create that, again, is really in alignment with your soul, and the divine has been encouraging you toward this, business project for you to really fully step into your power and fully show your energy, who you are, your gifts, your talents. But it's like, in order to do that, you can't have anything that would obscure your authenticity and your light. So what's happening is this shedding process where perhaps there's some final layers. Again, I think for many of you, you've already done a lot of this work, but it's like those final threads, those final layers, so that you can fully step into your truth, your purpose, your authenticity. And for some of you, this could involve being more visible with it, right? Like, you could have been going through this phase where you were, going through certain cycles spiritually, you were healing, you were growing, you were expanding, but now you're ready to bring it out to a wider audience, or, to the world, metaphorically speaking, to, social media or whatever platform you will have. But for some of you, I keep getting leadership, and there could be an element of visibility here. You have regeneration, acceleration, change, shamanic wisdom. Again, change is in the air for you, and you're being prepared for big change. A lot of change, a lot of shifts. I just keep hearing not everyone and not everything can come with you. There's this recognition that, perhaps what worked at one point may not work now, or the type of people you liked having around you at one point on your journey are no longer those who feel aligned now. I keep getting boundaries for you as well, because I feel like you're going to have to really practice setting very solid boundaries in this new endeavor, this new frequency, right? And again, it could be because you are more visible or more accessible to a wider audience. Some of you could have like a really strong, or you will have a very strong internet presence, because I'm getting like, when people, blow up on social media and they're bombarded with personal messages and, collaborations. I'm getting that energy. It's like you're preparing yourself, and that won't resonate for all. It will vary what this entails for each of you, but I just feel like you're being prepared for that. Yeah, I feel like you're going to have a community around you, or a fan base, I would say. Healing, division, teamwork, freedom. And it's like, who you choose to have in your life, in your energy, on your team will have a huge effect on the outcome, right? Again, I feel like we are responsible for our own consciousness, and irrespective of what is happening outside of us, yes, it can of course it can influence our energy, but we can still choose how we react, what we tell ourselves. I still feel you can operate in a high frequency when you master that, even if the energies around us may not be super positive. However, there's no denying it is easier to be in high vibrations with people and circumstances that match that energy, or that can show up in a higher frequency. So I see you being, and this is true in terms of the foods we consume, the things we watch, the thoughts and the beliefs that we have running through our mind every day, all of these factors. And it's like a stripping back process where you're clearing and cleansing anything that I just heard could be a loose end, right? That can't come with you in this new chapter. Okay, you have conception. And it's funny, I was going to say you may be seeing 777, and now you have that on the table. The frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space, and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. Yeah, I just heard you're being stingy with your energy. Now, not in a negative way, in a positive way. You're conserving your energy. You're being very clear and setting boundaries in terms of who you want to give that energy and focus to. If it doesn't serve you, I see you being kind and loving, but very clear in regards to what you will and won't tolerate, what you want in your life moving forward, and then just proceeding. We also have 28, 10, and 10, so 10, 10. Yeah, you're going through a huge level up. Yeah, authority with 9 of Pentacles, and you have master here. I feel like for some of you, your leaders, your masters, your teachers, you're really stepping into a new level of authority and visibility. The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. You're also coming into perfect balance within yourself, right? Where you're setting boundaries, you're very clear with others and balancing that give and take, but you're still being kind of compassionate, loving, wise in your delivery, right? Where this group, you could literally reject someone, but it'd be the most loving rejection they ever experienced in their life. It's like your rejection would heal, right? Because of the frequency and the energy you embody. But there will be a need to set very clear boundaries in this next phase. So that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hi, group 2. So I'm hearing for this group, you're falling in love with yourself and not in an egotistical way, in a beautiful way, but someone else may be falling in love with you while you fall in love with self. And this is a really beautiful energy because what I'm seeing is this journey from, for some of you, a potential heartbreak or a very painful ending with a connection, but it leads you back to self, right? It leads you to an awakening of who you really are and your own, I just heard goddess energy. For some of you, you're really embracing that divine feminine energy, irrespective of gender. I just get this really heart-centered, loving, warm vibration. And for some of you, it took, for example, an ending, a painful ending or closure to get to this place. And I feel like now it's like this journey you've been on. And again, this didn't happen overnight. I feel like this is a gradual process that you've gone through, but it's like now you're seeing, you know, the fruits of that journey. For some of you, you may have had to really focus on self with the Hermit and Temperance. You may have gone into solitude or hermit mode or taken time away to really heal those wounds. But it's like now you're emerging in such a beautiful frequency. And I feel like other people are seeing and feeling that too, right? Specifically for some of you, there could be a significant other. This is really high vibrational love, right? This is like life partner, someone where you have mutual goals, mutual values. You could be building something together, whether that's a home, a family, a business, all of the above. But it's this journey you went on perfectly aligned you to this outcome. And it's like looking back and being grateful. Do you know when you look back and you think, I'm so grateful for that person ending that connection? Because imagine had I stayed here, I would have ended up with the 6 of Cups, not the 2 of Cups. This to me is energy that perhaps is more karmic or was imbalanced. For example, for some of you, you may have had a connection or connections where the other person was not giving to you, right? They were taking or they just weren't showing up for you in the same way. So it forced you to pour back into self and give to self. And it's like now you're showing up in this energy of reciprocity, balance, harmony. And it's like, had you not gone through that, you wouldn't be in this vibration. It's like now as well, fully understanding the bigger picture of why things happen and unfolded the way they did. And I feel like through this healing process and solitude, it's almost like you had to learn yourself. You had to unravel the story of who you are, how you perceive yourself, what your truth is, what you feel and think. And it's like through that introspection or through that deep diving of and that increase in awareness, you know, it brought you to this place of just unequivocal self-love. It's like you came into union with yourself. I feel like there's a lot of pride here as well. So I feel like your higher self is really proud of your journey, and I feel like you are too. And especially if you ever had trouble giving to yourself or receiving, I feel like you fully overcome that wound or that difficulty, because now it's like you're just pouring into self and you're radiating this energy. And anyone that's around you with this rose quartz, it's like their heart opens, right? Because you have just such a beautiful vibration. You have such an abundant energy that it kind of it flows over or spills over into the energy that other people experience. You have Lemurian guide, sister, friend, teacher of infinite universal love. I feel like you've worked closely with your guides, or you may have a specific guide that has really helped walk you through this process. But with that 3 of Swords, I do feel at one point you may have really been on your knees in terms of a very painful ending. A very, painful breakup or ending. And again, I keep hearing it was karmic and it was part of this process and journey. It was by divine decree, but it doesn't diminish how difficult that may have been. And it's like through this process, I'm hearing now you know what true love is. It's almost like you had to taste from, it makes me think of that analogy Paulo Coelho, the writer of The Alchemist, uses, where he's like, I can't remember which book it's from, but he's saying how, you know, we want to have a sip from many different types of wine. Some will take one sip, others will drink the whole bottle. And obviously he's referring to life experiences. In order to know your path and what feels right for you, sometimes you have to try different, you know, different connections or meet different types of people or experience different, sometimes that could be different forms of heartbreak or definitions of love to really have clarity in terms of what feels genuine and authentic. So for this group, I feel like it's the contrast of what you experienced up here versus this connection that really gives you clarity in terms of what's right for you and what true love looks like in action, in practice. And obviously there can be a difference between what our ego wants and what our ego thinks is a relationship, or what the ego thinks is love versus the soul's knowing of love. And I feel for this group, you're accessing the greatest source of love of all, which is within you. And it's almost like that journey we go originally, you know, we're seeking for love externally, and then eventually we realize that we are love, we become love. And I feel for this group, that's exactly what you've done. But the spillover effect, when you become love, you attract love. And that's what I feel has happened. Because can you see, I feel like this woman is in like divine ecstasy. She's connecting with source, the higher realms, and it's like someone's really focused on her. And again, this isn't specific to gender, but I just feel like some of you may not have even been meaning to attract this. This is just a byproduct of your frequency and who you become. So you have earth and air, stabilization, physical integration, mental clearing. I feel like you've fully cleared and forgiven the past. I'm not really feeling that in your energy field anymore. I feel like there has been a release. There has been a letting go. I feel like, again, you may have had to take a lot of time to go within and really let go. And let go, but also accept what hasn't happened, the path you're on, and make peace with that. But I feel like you're already there. And it's like now there's a brand new cycle. For some of you, this could be a brand new connection. For others of you, you may have already met this person. You're already in union. But I feel like there's a new cycle of really healthy, beautiful love and union for you because of this journey. You have solitude. Sitting on the Eight of Swords as well. And can you see, do you know how they say like being alone doesn't always mean you're lonely? When you first were going into solitude or, the hermit mode, you may have felt very lonely. Like it may not have felt so good, or you may have had certain beliefs or thoughts about you being alone that kind of plagued your mind. Whereas it's like now you grew to love that solitude because you realized you were never alone. You came into union with yourself, right? With the divine within. And I feel like that made all the difference. And it also has changed your conception of what it means to be alone versus be with another. And again, we can also be very lonely in a relationship if it's not well aligned, or the person, doesn't serve our highest good. So it's like you may have had to wade through some of these definitions to gain clarity in regards to what, I want to say what is true, but truth can be very subjective depending on each individual and their perception. But truth in regards to what love looks like in action. I keep hearing that. So for some of you, you may have had people proclaim to love you, but then, for example, hurt your feelings, or not show through their actions that they loved you. There's some sort of dichotomy here where you understand the difference between empty words or empty promises, or what the ego considers love, which is not really love at all because the ego isn't capable of love, versus the soul. There's some sort of clarity here. You also have here forgiveness. For this group as well, you have a really strong connection to the moon. I'm getting really strong energy. I'm getting like divine feminine energy, Cancer, Pisces, and also Virgo coming through really strong. We do have Sagittarius here too. But with this forgiveness on the Six of Pentacles, I also am hearing you can't pour from an empty cup. So part of your process may have been recognizing that the people that, you know, perhaps a karmic connection here, or the people you were connecting with previously, their cup was empty, right? Like even if they wanted to, even if they felt like they cared about you or had love for you, they had no love to give within self, right? You cannot pour from an empty cup. So there's this recognition that true love always has as its foundation self-love, because there's no other way. You can't source, you know, if I don't have love or don't feel love internally, what am I extending? Where am I extending love from, right? It can't be out of thin air. You can only extend what's within you. And it makes me think of, you know, the poet Khalil Gibran. I think this was a passage in the Prophet, but it may have been in another one of his books. But he was talking about, he used an analogy and he said, if someone hands you a snake, thank them, because all they have is a snake to give. And obviously that's a metaphor for, you know, sometimes people like you or connect with you, but their language is, for example, if they're in a negative vibration, they could actually say something negative to you or connect with you in a way that you're like, that, why would I want to connect with you now? But for them, that's the most they have to offer. Now, I'm not saying you should tolerate that, but that can help with the forgiveness process and the healing process when you understand that that's at their level of consciousness or what they're experiencing internally, that's the best they can give. Right? It wasn't a reflection of your worth, your value, who you are as a being. I don't know why you may have really gone deep with some of these topics, because I keep really going into depth with love, self-love, these energies and themes. And you may have had to go deep to unravel, because often we tend to personalize this, right? If someone's not loving me or someone, you know, hurts me, betrays me, chooses to walk away, oftentimes that will have an input on in terms of how I treat self or how I think about myself. So I feel for some of you, it's like you've untangled the thread in regards to personalizing or feeling as though these past situations or a situational wound was about you, because in many ways, you know, even if this person, it wasn't you they were interacting with, if that's all they have to give, the next connection, it will keep playing out, right? When someone lacks self-love, it is, you know, they can't love one person truly, but not you, right? If they have a lack of love and nothing to give, every connection they go in, that pattern will follow. So it's almost like reframing how you see, number one, your past, number two, how you see yourself and what love looks like. And again, the core of love is always self-love. It's coming from the divine. It's coming from God. It's who you are. It's not something outside of you. When you have a beautiful union like this, it's because both parties have a full cup. Both individuals truly love self. Yeah, look, and now you have a golden apple, and look at the crown. Yeah, you put the crown back on. Rewriting, Queen Codes, her story, healing distortion. That's what you've done. It's like you've unraveled the narrative of who you are, your value. You put your crown back on, you know, and when I say crown, I mean divine crown. That sense of divinity, that sense of true love, which comes from the divine. And it's like when you are in touch with, you know, divine essence, divine energy, and we all have the divine moving through us, but it's like we're not all aware. It never runs dry, right? You never run out of love. You are love. And that's that state of consciousness that you've cultivated. And it's so funny you have Queen Codes, because the second oracle here is Goddess Spiral. Rites of Passage, Dreams, Support. For this group as well, I keep seeing the moon. I don't know, here. I don't know if you've done any rituals with the moon, or I'm hearing like moon magic. For others of you, I feel like you've really gone deep with the shadow work and you've gained a lot of clarity. And this is what's funny. What started as a journey for many of you to heal from, again, some of you, I do feel this is like a heartbreak or a karmic situation, but from an emotional wound, it's like it led you straight to God or source within your own being. And then it's like all this love spills into the physical, but that wasn't initially, that may not have been your focus, because to me, this woman looks like she's fully focused and centered and anchored within self. Yeah, you came into union with self and then you got union in the physical. Crown chakra. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. Yeah, I feel like you've learned as well that you can control by shifting how you perceive self. By shifting your perception, you change your reality. When you change your mind about something, it changes the form of what you're witnessing. And so you're understanding how much power you truly hold within self. I also think you carry so much light in your energy field that it's so magnetic and attractive to others. Yeah, remembrance. And you have 2911, 3811, 1111. And I kept getting like divine union with this connection. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. Yeah, it's like nothing, I heard nothing was in vain. Everything that you've gone through, even if it was painful and difficult, even if you resisted it initially, it's really served you because it's grown and evolved. You've evolved to such a degree that you wouldn't have, I don't know if you would have selected this path without this initial catalyst, right? And it's like it brought you home. It brought you back to yourself, which is all there is, right? And that was the point. But with that, when you come home to yourself, you attract in those who have also attained that level of consciousness. So that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hi, group 3. So for this group, I'm hearing you're gaining access to information that you weren't privy to before. For this group, I feel like you're going through a huge ascension. And I just heard, you know, that information where you get downloads or ideas and it changes the game for you. Nothing's the same after that. It's like, it makes me think of the initial spiritual awakening where you realize, hang on, we don't die. I've had multiple lifetimes, and it's like you can never go back to sleep, right? You always have a level of awareness. Even if you try to run from it, it's still there. That's what I'm getting for you. It's like something's happening and it changes the game for you. And maybe for some of you, it's like all the pieces of the puzzle slot together, or again, it gives you a lot of clarity in terms of how to move forward as well. For some of you, this could be higher knowing in the sense of like getting downloads or understanding your Akashic records, understanding your soul's path, your soul's life purpose, and then from there being able to move ahead. But I just feel like there's a lot of downloads coming in for you. A lot of downloads and a lot of clarity. You may just have a newfound level of clarity or awareness. I just heard as well the truth being known. But I feel for some of you, there's something about the information, the knowledge, the wisdom that's coming in that changes the game for you. Because especially the Four of Pentacles and the Tower, it makes me think of your old foundation crumbling. And again, I started this talking about, you know, finding information that nothing ever goes back to how it was once you know it. That's what I'm getting again. It's like this information or higher knowledge and awareness, especially with this eagle here, it may change your life completely, or there's some sort of knowledge or foresight and download you have about the future that changes everything. It's like the missing piece or certain things come together with this information. It could be as well that you're receiving downloads and wisdom and knowledge that you're going to communicate with, right? You're going to turn it into, whether it be a book, a business, you may be sharing this information with others, helping to awaken others with it. And that's what changes the game, not only in your life, but also in their life. It's really crucial. The phase you're at right now is really crucial for your spiritual development, for your growth, I just heard for your abundance, but I wasn't going to say that. So again, there could be information incoming that links up to your career or a project that you work on. I feel like it could have, at first it starts as an inner awareness, but you may kind of do something with that, whether that's writing it out, sharing it. It could be like a workshop or a course that you develop that you can then share with others. But I feel like it could have connotations for other people, you creating this or you experiencing this. I also feel with higher knowing, I also got higher consciousness. So for some of you, this is also an energetic upgrade where you're leveling up into a much higher level of consciousness, awareness. You can see things very clearly within your own self and your own life. if you've been confused in the past, especially if you were feeling lost in regards to your spiritual journey, but even for some of you, your career, because for this group, I feel like your career may be your life purpose or it's going to become your life purpose. Again, now there's something about the information you're receiving. Again, it's like, it makes me think of, you know, those great authors where they get the download for the book years earlier, like the Harry Potter, where it's like they get the main characters and the download and then they jot it down and then years later they write it. It's kind of like that, where you get a download of a fully formed idea or an information, or it could be like a healing modality, and it's like it comes in and then, you know, later on you're going to build on that. Especially with the Tower, and it's like, it's almost like your old way of doing things or perceiving things, or even your old life has to kind of crumble in order to level up to this new level of awareness. I think you've outgrown where you've been spiritually, energetically, and now it's like that's falling so that you can level up. You have stepping stones. Take the next step, let go of the old paradigm. So the first message, especially with this sitting on the Four of Pentacles, is to let go. Don't hold on too tight to where you've been or what you've known, because something's coming in that changes the game. And again, I don't think it's coming from the outside in. I feel like it's coming from within you, right? A download, an idea. It could be like literally a fully formed idea that you will create or work on, or information that's fully formed and downloaded to you that you turn into a book or content or a business. And I'm hearing it's meant for you. It's meant specifically for you. But you could have been on a journey or going through a process where you were developing, because for some of you, it could actually be channels, because I feel like the divine definitely speaks through you or grants you a lot of ideas, but you could have been working on raising your vibration, increasing your consciousness, you know, going to the next level, leveling up energetically so that you're in alignment or you're able to receive and access this information. They're making me feel like the body and the vessel has to be prepared for the energy that's coming through. And your other oracle, you have Master number 11. And it's funny because we have Archangel Metatron. For me, that's the Archangel of Ascension, wholeness, commune with all life, micro, macrocosm. Yeah, I just heard you're speaking with the universe, or the universe is speaking to you. Very clear idea coming in, very clear vision. It's like if you've had doubt previously, I feel like it's an end to doubt. And with Lapis Lazuli, for some of you, this is ancient knowledge, or how would I say? I just heard an old idea. I keep hearing, though, you had to prepare for this. You had to be ready to be able to receive this, or be ready to be able to take action upon it once that download happened. It may feel, for some of you, it may be kind of shocking or feel like it came out of thin air, where it's like, what? Like, how did I just get this? Like, you may be doing something very mundane, like washing dishes or showering, and you just get this download or insight. There's just something where, and again, I keep hearing it was meant for you. And I feel like, again, it ties into your life purpose. This is what you're meant to do or create in this lifetime. And again, that doesn't mean you won't do other things or you don't have free will. Of course you do. But there's just this really strong sense that of alignment with this. But it brings a lot of abundance, because with that 8 of Wands and strength as well, I'm seeing 8 or 888. I feel like it could be turned into like a project or a venture or like a course or workshop. There's something that you do and create with it. Yeah, patience. Some of you may have had to be really patient. I just heard for some of you, you may have been in, when it says letting go of the old paradigm, you could have felt like you were stuck in the past cycle for, I just heard too long, but for a long time. Right? And it's like, oh, when are things going to move, or when are things going to change, or when am I going to know what I'm meant to be doing? Like, some of you could have really grappled with confusion or even self-doubt, I'm hearing. And it's like now those pieces of the puzzle are slotting into place and you have that knowing, that awareness. But I am hearing as well, one step at a time. Don't feel like you need to rush or force it. Like, it still may take time for you to cultivate this or build upon it and bring it into reality. But it's like now you have, I want to say, the tools or the basic foundation you needed to be able to create this or to be able to bring this to life. Yeah, and you have action on the Tower. Again, I feel like for some of you, you may literally move in a brand new direction with this download and insight. I also feel with this higher knowing, and I mentioned, you know, you going through an ascension and upgrade, it's like who you thought yourself to be, but also the limits that you once thought you had, you've blasted through them, right? Like you're stepping into a more expansive version of self. And with that, it's like the horizon, the world is your oyster. There are pathways or a horizon for you that you didn't see previously. It's like when we're at one level of consciousness, we literally cannot see something sometimes. If say I'm in a very low vibration, very negative mindset, and I'm really struggling, it can be very difficult for me to hear the voice of spirit and divine inspiration because my energy is so far out of range with that. And I'm not saying you were in that place. I'm just giving an analogy where it's like you've broken through a glass ceiling in terms of your consciousness, and now you're able to hear and receive things that you were not able to be a vessel for previously, or that, you know, those ideas could have been lingering there, but it didn't come together, right? The energy didn't quite match. And it's like now I just keep hearing perfect timing, divine timing, things are aligned. You also have restructure. Identifying, reframing, enhancing the Three of Wands. And didn't I say before something about an old idea? So again, it's split. For some of you, I feel like this download hasn't come, or there's more downloads that are coming that bring all this together. But for some of you, you may already have this idea. If when you listen to this reading, you're like, yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the idea, or that's the golden insight, the path that Spirit is really encouraging you to move toward. But again, with restructure, I feel like you are changing quite drastically. You have been on this really, I just heard arduous path of ascension. So for some of you, I'm hearing over the last 3 years, you may have gone through a lot of upgrades, a lot of shifts, a lot of transformations, a lot of downloads. And it's like now you're showing up in a very different energy, but you're ready. I keep feeling like you're at a vibration, or you're at a level of consciousness where you're really ready for these next steps or for this new direction. And you have communication, exploring new states of consciousness, untapped potential. That's what I was trying to express previously. It's like when you're in a new state of consciousness, when you level up to a new state, there's a sense of, with untapped potential, I keep hearing the world is your oyster. It's like there's possibilities or even ideas and pathways that were there for you that have always been a part or a possibility for your life's purpose, for your life's path, but you may not have been able to hear or receive it, or you couldn't perceive it, right? Because if I have a really limited version of self, my ideas for what I can do tend to be as small as my concept of self. So what I'm seeing for this group, it's like as you keep expanding and pushing out your energy field, releasing limiting beliefs, shedding old skin, it's like now the potential available to you is infinite. I just heard as well, infinite wealth. Some of you are going to be met with levels of abundance and wealth from taking action on these ideas. Again, it could be a literal idea for a project, a business. Through taking action, you're going to access so much abundance and so much wealth that it's going to show you that you are infinite, right? That the divine is infinite, you're infinite. And again, it's not about the wealth. I feel for this group, you're thoroughly on a spiritual path, but it's like it coincides with, it's like as you've expanded your essence and your energy field, it's like your finances grow with it or are reflecting that. You have sacral chakra. The frequency of the sacral chakra, the orange flower of life, supports our ability to flow with our desires and stimulates our creative power to manifest success and abundance in our lives with 8 of Wands in action. 2025 for this group is a year of taking action. And again, I don't see you forcing it. I feel like you're going to be really lit up with the sacral chakra in terms of creating this or bringing this to life. It's like when you get that golden idea or that golden ticket, you've just been waiting for it. You're like, what am I meant to be doing? How can I move my life forward? Or, how do I how do I come up with this? And then you finally get it and the gate's open and you're just kind of going for it. That's what I'm getting. It's like, now's your time. And for some of you, you could have really felt held back with this patience card. And I mentioned that you could have felt delayed or even a little, I want to say, lost or confused. And it's like with the Wheel of Fortune, you finish with one cycle, and at this new expansive level of consciousness, you're ready for the new. You're ready to move in a new direction. You also have dynamic. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. That's what I see you doing. There's a really strong energy here of creating abundance and success through joy, through happiness, through alignment rather than force. And even though I do feel for a lot of you, you will be busy taking action, there's not this sense of, oh, I have to do this. There's no resentment to it. There's a lot of joy and excitement, feeling lit up. And there's also this sense of, oh, this is what life is meant to be about. This is, I don't know, like being in flow with the universe. You know, those people that are doing what they love in this world, and it's like they're just lit up. They're writing their novels, they're creating films. I am getting somewhat of a creative, innovative energy. They're designing products. That's what I see, you being very busy with what you love. But with dynamic, it's something about integrating the new energies with, for some of you, you could be innovative in the sense, or a pioneer, where you're bringing new energy or fresh ideas to something that is an old form or concept. I don't know how to explain it. This won't resonate with everyone, but that's what I'm getting, is like there could be your mind and this consciousness you're embodying could completely revolutionize. For example, it makes me think of a writer who comes up with a novel that's just so radical it doesn't even fit in a genre, but everyone loves it. That type of energy where it's not been done before, or you come up with a product and it's like, it makes me think of like the creation of Netflix, right? And then video stores kind of closed and shut shop because everyone moved on to, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people moved towards streaming services, right? It revolutionized entertainment. That's what I'm getting. So for some of you, there could be something very innovative about what you're doing. So that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hi, group 4. Okay, so I feel for this group, I kept hearing the phrase hope restored. And for some of you, I feel like, and now I'm hearing that song. It's an older song. It's like World Hold On. I can't remember the lyrics, but there's a sense of just hold on. Hope is coming. The light is returning. For some of you, I feel like you're waiting on something, or you're in need of something. Specifically for some of you, this could be around finances or, your security, your well-being. Because I am getting this energy of something's coming in, but you may not see it right now, but it's around the corner. Or with the moon, it's behind the veil, because you have the moon and then the magician. So it's like it's just there, but you may not be seeing it. And again, with 3 of Pentacles, you may be juggling a lot right now, or you may be feeling a little bit uncertain around what to do, what's coming in for you, how to move forward. I just get this sense of struggle, essentially, and it's the end of the struggle, especially with 5 of Cups and 5 of Pentacles. Again, for some of you, I feel like this could be financial struggles, but it could also be, like those periods on our spiritual path where we're in that desert phase where it looks barren, like nothing's showing up. And this can also, with 5 of Cups, this can also be like a lack of support or connections, a lack of financial support. I'm just getting this energy of, when am I going to hit that breakthrough, or when are things going to shift? And Spirit is coming through very strong with this message of hope and keep going, especially with the 7 of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. I'm hearing the efforts you've undertaken and the work you've done previously will pay off and will show up in the physical world. But there's a need to have patience with yourself as you go through this process. It's like you're going to hit your stride when it comes, because I'm getting like a flow state, right? Where you're riding that wave towards greater blessings, connection. It's like you're almost there is what I want to say. You're almost out of this phase of, for some of you, it could just be a lot of alone time as well, especially with 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords. It could be feeling a little bit isolated. And your connection is your higher self, is God, the divine, your inner light. But I feel like there are changes happening in the physical, or there's about to be, but I just keep hearing don't lose hope. And it's like you are learning lessons here, I feel, or you're gaining wisdom around, you know, alignment, allowing, I'm hearing flow state. I keep getting these references. And what you could be going through is almost this period where you're tuning your energy to this new timeline. But do you know when we're between timelines or between cycles and phases where it's like, oh, nothing's like I'm doing this inner work or I feel aligned, but nothing's happening in the material. It's not showing up physically. And then it's like you reach that point where it does. That's what I'm getting, like breakthrough energy. So the major message here is not to lose hope. You have depths of love, let go of fear to jump into love, let go beyond attachments. I'm hearing that song. Again, this is an older song too, but I Believe in a Thing Called Love. It was a British band. I don't remember who sings it, but that's what I'm getting. I'm hearing still believe in love, still have that hope, right? Some of you may have gone through a difficult holiday period, or it's just been, I just keep hearing a desert, like where it feels like everything's been demolished, or it's like there's not, I don't know how to explain this energy. There's just a sense that nothing has shown up physically. Like you can feel the light here within self. You can feel the energy, but you're not, it's like your faith is being tested, right? Where you're kind of, you feel it coming, you do have faith, but then it's like you're at that point where it's like, should I keep holding on, or am I just kidding myself? There's something here where Spirit keeps saying, keep the faith. I feel like things are going to change, especially with the Moon and the Magician, but it may change. It's like you're not going to see this coming. So it may change in a way you weren't envisioning, or there's something about how support or help comes in that you're not currently perceiving. And honestly, I don't think you're meant to. It's like this, the divine is going to surprise you with how things come together. It's going to come together in a very miraculous or synchronistic manner. And it's like you're not meant to see how everything fits or flows into place. And it's funny because you had 5-5 and you have another 5. So 5-5-5, change. You have source self-embodiment, inspiration, you were ready. Yeah, it's like I kept saying about flow state and coming into alignment. There's something here where you may have had to go through a period where things were very quiet in the physical, things weren't moving forward, so that you could focus on your inner journey, your healing process, your inner alignment, and then things will shift in the physical. And I feel like you're right at that precipice where things have, I shouldn't say have shifted, but are about to shift and about to transform. And with Divine Blueprint as well, it makes me think it's part of a bigger plan. Do you know, it's giving blessing in disguise energy, where we look at something and think, why is this happening? Or why does Spirit, the divine, not have my back? And then we look later down the line and we look back and we're like, oh, that was a perfect thing at that time, right? I needed that to grow. I needed that to understand a specific lesson or to learn and move forward. And it's like, that's how you're going to see it in the future. But right now it's like, just don't give up. Just keep holding on. I feel like as well, I keep hearing you're between timelines, right? You are ascending to a higher timeline. And in this timeline, you are met with a lot more support, resources, physical manifestations of your inner state. But it's like while you're venturing or while you are voyaging to this new energy or consciousness, while you are practicing embodying this consciousness, it could be, things could be quiet. Yeah, and you literally have flow with the 7 of Pentacles. I'm hearing flow and have faith and trust that your hard work will pay off. And when I shouldn't say hard work, because I'm also talking about spiritual work, inner work, right? The seeds that you have planted in your consciousness will bear fruit. It has to, right? Whenever we hold anything internally, it shows up in the physical. But there can be a lag time between doing that and when it appears. And I feel like, as well as divine timing, but I feel like I keep hearing you're right at the precipice, but you can't see it, or you may be feeling a little disillusioned or not be feeling the most hopeful is what I want to say. And Spirit is saying, no, you wait and see how things come together and what is being aligned for you. And again, for some of you, this is definitely around finances and support. Financial support, physical support, supportive relationships. And what you have after flow is literally blessings, sitting on Knight of Pentacles. And that's what I'm saying. It's like going from desert to harvest, like to the tropics. That's what I feel for you. Like night and day. There's about to be a huge shift in your physical reality. And Spirit's saying the lesson or the test per se, I don't think it's literally a test, but the spiritual initiation is around having faith and hope even when your physical sight cannot confirm what you're sensing. You also have pilgrimage, sacred sites, grid work, dragon energy above the Four of Swords. You may have needed like a lot of time out or energy to yourself to anchor in certain frequencies, to anchor in a new timeline, to step into your power is another thing I heard. And it's like, even if things look desolate externally or feel as though they're not lining up externally, it's like Spirit is actually helping fine tune your energy to this new timeline. With the Three of Coins as well, I feel like some of you may have you may be juggling like this. You may have a lot of balls in the air, a lot of responsibilities, or feeling a certain level of pressure, not knowing how to juggle or manage this or what the result will be. But I just keep feeling for you. It's like the divine is working with you and through you, and you are being aligned to the solution, but it may not feel that way or seem that way right now. And you have show yourself. Vulnerability, self-worth, feminine healing. Part of your lesson as well, or what you're mastering right now, is receiving. For some of you, you could resonate with being like a lone wolf or very hyper independent, where you're kind of used to going your own way, forging your own path, you know, very, very focused on your inner voice, and you may be someone that doesn't always like to ask for help, but there's something here around allowing yourself to receive support, allowing yourself as well to trust what your intuition is telling you, because I feel like there could be a duality between what your mind is telling you or what your ego feels versus what your soul knows. And there's an essence here of trusting, going with the soul, not the ego, because the soul tells the truth, whereas the ego speaks only of fear. But with show yourself as well, there could have been some wounds. In order to align with this higher timeline, there could have been some wounds that needed healing, again, around you receiving. And what determines our ability to receive? Often our self-worth. If we have any wounds around our self-worth or feeling deserving of certain things, it will show up, whether that be deserving of unconditional love, deserving of financial support. Sometimes we have to go through these periods where we're working on, you know, how we feel about self and our self-concept in order to receive or upgrade our finances, upgrade certain areas. And I feel, and again, you may still be in this process, but I feel like that's the path you may have been on, where you were really, you know, deep diving and healing any blocks or barriers around you receiving what you truly need and deserve, and also having people and life and the universe support you. You may have had to heal or change your narrative around, I want to say, life and how it operates. For example, concepts such as life is hard, I never have enough, I'm never supported, the universe never has my back. These types of concepts can make us feel like we're always struggling. And, you know, technically you may be juggling or struggling in the physical world, but those beliefs are underlying it. So you may have had to do some healing work, even subconsciously, around what you tell yourself or what you believe you can have and deserve to receive. And I feel like it's almost like you're at that precipice or breakthrough where it spills over into the physical. The other card you had is allowance. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. With the moon here, right? And it ties into what I was saying. I feel like you're not going to see or predict how this comes in. There's something either miraculous about it, or it's like out of left field, like you weren't expecting it to come in this way, or it's something different than what you thought you wanted, but it's the perfect fit. That's what I'm getting. And it's like you're not meant to know. I do think there's an element here of a spiritual initiation where your faith or trust is being tested, where your spirit is inviting you to hold the faith and anchor in that energy and alignment whilst not knowing the specific outcomes of how it comes in, when, and I know that's easier said than done, but there's just this sense of trusting the flow of life and trust that your life and the universe is always working for your highest good, even if the circumstance at that moment in time does not seem desirable to the mind, to the ego, right? From a higher vantage point, every event that you call forth is expanding your consciousness, which is your purpose for incarnation. So there's a sense here of developing such a deep trust in life, in your ability to receive, in your ability to be supported, that again, that's what materializes in the physical. You also have fertility. The number 9 could be significant. Yeah, and 36-9. So you may be seeing 999, again, closing out a big cycle, closing out a timeline, shifting into a new one. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves with the Magician. So again, you could also be giving birth to something new, but there's a brand new life that is starting for you. And again, I feel like for this group, you know that, you want that, you're sensing it, but you can't fully perceive it physically. It's not, with the moon, it's still behind the veil. But that's where you're moving and what you're coming into. But with this allowance and fertility together, there's something about being open-minded and not feeling like you need to know the specific details or the specific outcome before starting. It's almost, again, I keep getting this message of faith for you, where it's like having that faith, taking action as guided. I'm not saying, you can't move ahead, but there's a sense here of also having that balance where you're comfortable with the unknown and you can trust the unknown and trust spirit, the divine, to guide your steps. Yeah, the perfect balance between action and surrender, right? And give and take. It's like you're finding that middle ground. And it's like when you find that center point, things flow beautifully. Things are going to unfold beautifully. But again, that's not always easy. And to reach that center point and a level of alignment, you would need to be in connection and listening to the soul, not the ego, because the ego, again, operates from fear and operates from lack. So it will always pull you out of center. So what you may be asked to do, or what you're practicing right now, is how to stay grounded, even when it is scary, even when you don't have all the answers, or you're not sure how things are going to, for example, get better or change or transform, and still hold that faith and keep that alignment. So that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonates, and I hope you have a beautiful day.